My wife caught me. You've been cheating. I found the evidence. Waving hotel receipts. I said, you're right. She started crying victoriously. Then I explained, those are from planning your surprise 10th anniversary trip. I, 38 male, have been married to my wife for almost 10 years. We have 2 kids, ages 7 and 5. I thought we had a good marriage, not perfect, but solid. Apparently, I was the only one who thought that. Last Saturday morning, I was in the garage working on some yard equipment when she came storming out, face red, hands shaking, waving a handful of papers. You've been cheating! I found the evidence! She threw the papers at me, hotel receipts, credit card statements, reservation confirmations. My stomach dropped. Not because I'd been caught doing something wrong, but because she'd just ruined her own anniversary surprise. I'd spent 3 months planning a trip to the resort where we had our honeymoon, booked the same suite, arranged childcare with her sister, even got reservations at the restaurant where I proposed, which has a 6-month wait list. I looked at the papers scattered on the garage floor, then back at her. She was crying now, but it wasn't sad crying. It was triumphant crying, victorious, like she'd finally won something. You're right, I said. She actually smiled through her tears. I knew it. I knew something was going on. Who is she? How long has this been happening? I bent down, picked up the receipts, and started organizing them. Our anniversary suite, the dinner reservation, the couple's spa package, the chartered sailing excursion. These are from planning your surprise 10th anniversary trip, I said, keeping my voice flat. We leave in 3 weeks. Or we were supposed to. The color drained from her face. What? Your sister knows. She's supposed to watch the kids. I've been planning this since February. I handed her the stack. She looked through them slowly. The resort confirmation with both our names. The romantic dinner package. The happy 10th anniversary note I'd requested be left with champagne in the room. I didn't. But here's what I don't understand. I leaned against my workbench. Why did you assume I was cheating? Why was that your first thought? She started stammering. Hotel receipts. You've been secretive. I've been secretive about a surprise, for you. But you immediately assumed cheating. Why? And then I watched it happen. The micro-expressions. The panic flickering behind her eyes. The way her hands tightened on the papers. Unless, I said slowly, you assumed I was cheating because that's what you would be doing, or what you are doing. That's ridiculous. I'm not. Then why did you go through my desk? Why were you looking for evidence of something? I was looking for the insurance papers. In my locked filing cabinet? With the key you don't have? So you picked the lock looking for insurance papers? She didn't have an answer for that. I think you were looking for evidence because you wanted to feel less guilty about something you're already doing. Classic projection. You're insane. I would never. Then you won't mind if I look at your phone right now. The way she clutched her phone to her chest told me everything I needed to know. That's what I thought. I walked past her into the house. She followed, still protesting, still claiming innocence. I grabbed my laptop, my wallet, my keys. Where are you going? To my brother's. I need to think. You can't just leave. We need to talk about this. No, we don't, not yet. I need to figure out what's actually happening before I say something I can't take back. I drove to my brother's place, told him everything. He poured me a whiskey and let me process. That night, I started digging. Her phone is synced to our family computer for photos. I never look at it, privacy and all that. But now I looked. Found nothing in the regular photo stream. But the recently deleted folder, that's where she'd been sloppy. Screenshots of text conversations, selfies in outfits I'd never seen, pictures at restaurants I'd never been to, and one photo that made my blood run cold, her and a man I'd never seen, sitting in a car, clearly taken by someone in the passenger seat. The text screenshot was the worst. Him. Can't wait for Saturday. Tell him you're at your sister's again. Her. Already planned. She covers for me every time. Her sister. The one I'd trusted to watch our kids for our anniversary trip. the one who was apparently providing alibis. I screenshot everything before it auto-deleted, backed it up to my own cloud, documented dates and times, then I called a divorce attorney. Update 1 week later. First off, thanks for all the support. This week has been a nightmare, but I'm pushing through. So, confrontation happened Monday. I came back to the house with my evidence organized and my attorney's advice fresh in my mind. Document everything. Don't leave the house permanently. Stay calm. She'd apparently spent Sunday convincing herself that I was the bad guy for storming out and making accusations. When I walked in, she was ready with her own offensive. "We need to talk about your behavior," she started. "Accusing me of cheating when you're the one with hotel receipts." Those hotel receipts were for our anniversary trip, which you'd know if you'd actually looked at them instead of just seeing hotel and assuming the worst. That's convenient. It's also the truth. Call the resort. Call the restaurant. They'll confirm the reservation is for both of us. She didn't have a response to that. "But let's talk about your behavior," I continued. "Specifically, what you've been doing on Saturdays when you're supposedly at your sister's." The color left her face again. "I don't know what you're—" I pulled out my phone, showed her the screenshots, the texts, the photos, her face in each one, undeniable. She didn't even try to deny it, just started crying. Different crying this time, not triumphant. Scared. "How long?" I asked. "It doesn't matter. How long?" 8 months. 8 months. I'd been planning her anniversary surprise for 3 months while she'd been cheating for 8. "Who is he?" "Just someone from the gym. It didn't mean anything." 8 months is pretty long for something that doesn't mean anything. "I was going to end it. I swear, I was about to end it." "Sure you were." Then came the entitlement that I still can't believe. "But this is partially your fault," she said. "You've been so distant lately, working late, not paying attention to me. I felt neglected. I was working late to afford your anniversary trip, the one I was planning as a surprise, the one that's now canceled because I'll be using that money for a divorce attorney." "Divorce? You can't be serious. What did you think was going to happen? We can work through this. It was a mistake. Couples counseling." "You cheated for 8 months, had your sister cover for you, and then accused me of cheating when you found evidence of your own surprise. There's no counseling for that level of betrayal." She switched tactics, went from crying to angry. "Fine, if that's how you want it, but you'll lose everything. The house, the kids, half your retirement. I'll make sure of it. Good luck with that." "You think I'm kidding? I have friends who've been through this. The courts favor mothers. You'll be paying child support and alimony while I stay in this house with your kids and you live in some sad apartment." She was probably right about some of it. Courts do tend to favor mothers. Divorces are expensive. I'd probably lose a lot, but I'd rather lose money than my self-respect. The next few days were warfare. She told the kids, "Daddy is being mean to Mommy." They started looking at me differently. Our 7-year-old asked why I was making Mommy cry. She called my parents and told them her version of events, that I'd been acting suspicious, and when she questioned me, I flew off the handle and threatened divorce over nothing. She told her friends the same story. I started getting texts from people I'd known for years. "I can't believe you'd treat her like this. She's devastated. How could you throw away 10 years? No one mentioned her affair, because she hadn't told anyone about it. But I had proof, and I was building my case. Her dirty trick came Thursday. I got a call from the police. Someone had reported a domestic disturbance at our address. They sent officers for a welfare check. I was at work. She was home. When I got home that evening, she had this satisfied look on her face. The police were here today. I know. They called me. I told them I've been feeling unsafe, that you've been volatile and aggressive. I've barely spoken to you in 4 days. They don't know that." She was trying to build a narrative, laying groundwork for a restraining order maybe, or just trying to make me look bad for the custody battle. I called my attorney that night. She wasn't surprised. "This is a common tactic. Document the call. Note that you were at work during the disturbance. Get statements from coworkers about your demeanor if needed. Don't give her any ammunition. I started recording all our interactions. Our state allows one-party consent. Every conversation documented. That weekend, I moved into the guest room. She complained to anyone who would listen that I was abandoning the marriage by not sleeping with her. The irony of a cheater accusing me of abandonment wasn't lost on me. Update 2, 3 weeks later. Things escalated quickly. My wife retained her own attorney, apparently using money from a savings account I didn't know existed. The financial discovery process revealed she'd been siphoning small amounts for years. Not enough to notice monthly, but it added up to about $12,000. Her attorney sent a demand letter requesting exclusive use of the marital home, primary custody of the children, $3,200 a month in temporary spousal support, $1,800 a month in child support, payment of her legal fees. My attorney countered with evidence of her affair, the screenshots, the texts, a timeline showing she'd been spending marital funds on her affair partner, dinners, a hotel room she'd booked once that showed up on our joint credit card that she'd claimed was for a girls' weekend. Her attorney's response was infuriating. The affair is irrelevant to asset division and custody in this state. Technically true. We're in a no-fault state. Her cheating doesn't significantly affect how assets are split. But here's where her entitlement backfired spectacularly. Remember her sister? The one covering for her? Turns out, when the sister found out the affair was exposed, she panicked. She'd been lying to her own husband about where she was when she was supposedly watching the kids for my wife's visits. The whole thing unraveled. The sister's husband called me. We'd been friendly at family gatherings, but never close. Now we had something in common. We'd both been deceived by these women. I just want you to know, he said. I had no idea she was covering for her. I thought you guys had a great marriage. So did I. For what it's worth, my wife's been spilling everything since I confronted her. She's terrified I'm going to divorce her too. She's told me dates, times, locations, if you need any of it for your case. Suddenly, I had corroboration. Dates matched my wife's sister visits. Times matched the deleted texts. The sister had been keeping a mental log because she was nervous about the lies. My attorney was thrilled. This helps establish a pattern of deception. It may not affect asset division, but it absolutely affects custody. A parent who lies this systematically and involves family members in covering up her deception demonstrates poor judgment. The custody evaluator was appointed 2 weeks into the process. Court-mandated professional who interviews both parents, talks to the kids, visits both homes. My wife tried her charm offensive. The house was spotless. She was supermom for the visit. Had all the right answers. But the evaluator wasn't stupid. She asked about the affair. My wife tried to minimize it. It was a mistake, a brief lapse in judgment. My husband has been emotionally unavailable for years. The evaluator noted that brief contradicted the 8-month timeline. She asked about the police welfare check. My wife claimed she'd genuinely felt unsafe. The evaluator noted that no charges were filed, no restraining order was sought, and my wife's own text messages from that day, which I'd been able to retrieve through our phone plan records, showed her laughing with a friend about giving him something to worry about. She was building a case against herself without even realizing it. Then came the deposition. My wife had to answer questions under oath. My attorney was thorough. Did you have an affair? Yes. For how long? About 8 months. Did your sister provide alibis for this affair? Sometimes. Did you use marital funds to finance activities related to this affair? A few dinners, maybe. Did you accuse your husband of cheating before he discovered your own affair? There were hotel receipts. That were for a surprise anniversary trip, correct? I didn't know that at the time. Did you file a false police report about a domestic disturbance that never occurred? Her attorney objected, but the question was on the record. I felt unsafe. Your own text messages from that day show you joking about giving him something to worry about. Do you deny sending those messages? Silence. The deposition lasted 4 hours. By the end, her entire narrative had crumbled. She tried one more play, called me directly against her attorney's advice. "Can we just stop this? I'll agree to 50-50 custody. We split everything evenly. No support either way. Clean break." It was actually a reasonable offer. More reasonable than I expected. "What's the catch?" "No catch. I just want this over. The depositions, the evaluators, everyone knowing our business. It's destroying me." I thought about it, consulted my attorney. She had advice that surprised me. "Take it. Trials are expensive and unpredictable. 50-50 custody is good for the kids. Even split is fair for assets. Prolonging this costs you money and emotional energy. If she's offering reasonable terms, accept them." So I did. Final update, 2 months after filing. Divorce is final. Here's how it shook out. Custody, 50-50, week on, week off. Kids stay in the school district. We handle transitions civilly. It's not perfect, but the kids are adjusting. House sold. Split the equity after paying off the mortgage. I walked away with about $95,000. She got the same. Retirement, split 50-50. Lost about $180,000 of my 401k. That one hurt, but it's the law. Spousal support, none. Her attorney tried to argue for it, but her secret savings account and her full-time job, she'd been hiding that she'd gotten a raise 6 months ago, worked against her. Child support, minimal because of the 50-50 split. I pay her about $320 a month because I earn more. Fair enough. Legal fees, each paid our own. Her $12,000 hidden savings went straight to her attorney. The affair partner? Gone the moment things got legal. He wasn't interested in being deposed or having his name attached to a divorce proceeding. Classic. Her sister? Still married, but barely. Her brother-in-law is making her work to rebuild trust. Family gatherings are awkward now. I don't attend them anymore. My wife's parents found out the truth eventually. Her mother actually called me to apologize for the things she'd said when she only had her daughter's side of the story. Her father hasn't spoken to her since the truth came out. Apparently, he had strong feelings about fidelity. His own father had cheated, and he'd watched his mother suffer. My own parents were supportive once they learned what actually happened. My mom still has opinions about whether I could have fought harder, but she's met the kid's mother's affair partner at this point. He showed up at school pickup once, apparently dating my wife now, so she's come around to understanding why there was nothing to fight for. The kids are the hardest part. They don't fully understand what happened, just that mom and dad don't live together anymore. My 7-year-old asked me last week if it was his fault. I held him and told him no, absolutely not, that sometimes adults have problems that kids can't fix and didn't cause, that both his mom and I love him and his sister more than anything, that this wasn't about them. He seemed to accept it. For now. My ex-wife and I communicate strictly through a co-parenting app. Logistics only. No emotion, no drama. It's better this way. She tried once, a few weeks after the divorce was final, to have a real conversation. "I know I hurt you," she said during a kid exchange. "I know I can't take it back, but I want you to know I'm sorry." I looked at her for a long moment. "I believe you're sorry it ended this way. I don't believe you're sorry you did it. There's a difference." She didn't have a response. The anniversary trip? I canceled everything. Got partial refunds on most of it. Used some of the money to take my kids to an amusement park instead. Different kind of memory, but a good one. Here's what I've learned from all this. Trust your instincts. I spent months feeling like something was off, but talking myself out of it. I should have asked questions sooner. Not accusatory questions, just honest ones about how our marriage was doing. Projection is real. When someone accuses you of something out of nowhere with unusual intensity, ask yourself why that particular accusation. Often they're telling on themselves. Document everything. From the moment I suspected something was wrong, I kept records, screenshots, dates, times. It saved me in the custody evaluation. Take the reasonable deal. My attorney was right. Dragging this into a trial would have cost more money and emotional energy than it was worth. Sometimes winning means accepting fair and moving on. Kids are resilient, but they need stability. The 50-50 arrangement isn't what I wanted. I wanted more time, but it keeps their lives consistent. 2 homes that love them beats 1 home full of conflict. And finally, you can do everything right and still lose. I planned a surprise anniversary trip for a woman who was cheating on me the whole time. I didn't deserve what happened, but I also can't control other people's choices. I can only control how I respond. I responded by protecting myself legally, fighting for my kids, and refusing to play the victim narrative she tried to build. That's enough. The irony of how this all started isn't lost on me. She accused me of cheating, waving evidence of the nicest thing I'd ever planned for her. And in doing so, she exposed herself. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. You just have to pay attention to the signs. To everyone going through something similar, it gets better. Not fast, and not without work, but better. Moving forward now. One day at a time.